The most expensive horse could have bought you a skyscraper. Yes, you heard that right. We're talking millions dropped on muscle, bloodlines, and a dream. Behind those polished hooves and flowing manes are deals bigger than Hollywood budgets. This isn't just horsepower, it's high-stakes poker with hay and heartbeats. In this video, we're counting down the 25 most expensive horses in history. These beasts shattered bank accounts and rewrote what a horse could be worth. Let's saddle up and meet the million-dollar legends. Number 25, Lord Sinclair, $3.2 million. He walked into the auction ring and dropped jaws. Lord Sinclair was a walking statement of power, presence, and perfection in motion. Sold in Germany in the early 2000s for a staggering $3.2 million, this dark-coated dressage stallion had moves smoother than silk and a presence that made riders nervous and judges weep. Born in 1997, he racked up championship titles like candy, Bundeschampion twice, with flawless execution. He was later bought by a private German breeder who saw him not just as a winner, but a walking legacy. His fame didn't die in the ring. It lived on through over 30 prized offspring. However, not every million-dollar horse ends in glory. The next one proves that a fat wallet can't guarantee fast hooves. Number 24, Plavius, $9.2 million. Plavius had the pedigree, the backing, and the buzz. When Godolphin Racing picked him up in 2006, the expectations were massive, especially with the vice president of the UAE behind the deal. But for a horse surrounded by that much anticipation, things didn't exactly pan out. Despite a solid frame and promising bloodlines, his career on the track fell flat. Out of 18 starts, he managed just 2 wins and earned a little over $50,000, not even close to justifying his $9.2 million price tag. No memorable races, no champion offspring, just a quiet exit from a spotlight that never fully turned on. And if you thought that was a gamble, wait until you meet a headline horse who fizzled just as fast. Number 23, Jalil, $9.7 million. Born to turn heads, Jalil was a walking headline before he ever set hoof on a track. With Stormcat blood running through his veins, he was scooped up by Godolphin Racing in 2005 for $9.7 million. That price wasn't just a bet, it was a statement. But while the pedigree promised fireworks, the career delivered a fizzle. Jalil did manage to win the Maktoum Challenge, but that was the peak. The rest was underwhelming. He never justified the investment, nor became a sire of legends. It was just another expensive gamble that ran out of steam too soon. And that flop still ran a few races. The next one, let's just say he made history by never showing up at all. Number 22, Snafi Dancer, $10.2 million. Some horses break records, but Snafi Dancer broke wallets. In 1983, this beautiful colt became the first horse ever sold for over $10 million. Thanks to his impeccable Northern Dancer bloodline, Sheikh Mohammed's team at Aston Upthorpe Stud saw greatness before it ever galloped. Sadly, what followed was pure heartbreak. Snafi Dancer never raced, not once. He was too slow in training, and even worse at the breeding shed. Poor fertility also sealed his fate. No trophies, no legacy, just a stunning price tag, and a lesson in how even the most promising bloodlines can leave nothing but dashed hopes and silence. But at least Snafi had an excuse. The next big spender simply vanished beneath the spotlight. Number 21, Meydan City, $11.7 million. Everything about Meydan City, son of King Mambo, screamed royalty. In 2006, Sheikh Mohammed's Godolphin Racing dropped $11.7 million at the Keeneland September sale to make him theirs. The racing world held its breath. But a promise doesn't always translate into podiums. Meydan City managed just one modest win in its career. No standout moments, no championship titles, and no return on investment. He quietly faded from headlines, a reminder that even the best-bred colts can stumble. In the end, all that shine turned out to be just very expensive glitter. Still, nothing screams record-breaking risk like what came next when a yearling lit the auction ring on fire. Number 20, Seattle Dancer, $13.1 million. Some horses walk into the auction ring and set it on fire. Seattle Dancer did just that in 1985, when he sold for a jaw-dropping $13.1 million, the highest price ever paid for a yearling at the time. With Nijinsky for a sire and Seattle Slew as his half-brother, expectations were sky-high. On the track, though, the fairy tale stalled. He raced only 5 times, winning twice. Not terrible, but not $13 million great. Still, he found some redemption at stud, producing a handful of stakes winners. Not a total bust, but far from the racing titan everyone paid for. Now, take that heat and jump it 6 feet high. Our next legend didn't race. He flew. Number 19, MHS Going Global, $13.7 million. MHS Going Global wasn't just a jumper. He was a rocket in horse form. This Irish sport horse lit up arenas worldwide with precision, speed, and insane consistency. In 2021, he was sold for $13.7 million, making him one of the most expensive show jumpers in history. Under Ireland's Bertram Allen, he claimed major Grand Prix titles before making his move to the US, where he joined rider Brian Mogre. Even after the sale, Going Global continued to rack up wins as if it were second nature. He didn't have a flashy bloodline hype, just raw, proven talent, and a track record that made every penny feel earned. This one didn't run a race, but his offspring galloped their way into legend, and his price tag proves it. But sometimes, it's not the show jumpers or racers who pull the biggest price. It's the moms behind the magic. Number 18, Better Than Honor, $14 million. She never set hoof on a racetrack, yet she rewrote the rules of value. In a headline-making moment back in 2008, Better Than Honor sold for $14 million, not for what she'd done, but for what she'd made. This broodmare produced 2 Belmont Stakes winners, including the iconic Rags to Riches, the first filly to win in over a century. Born in 1996 and sired by Deputy Minister, her bloodline became racing gold. She didn't need trophies. Her foals did the talking. Better Than Honor proved you don't need a finish line to become a legend. Enjoying these million-dollar horse tales? Hit subscribe for more jaw-dropping prices, elite bloodlines, and legendary equine drama. Stick around, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 17, Palubé de Loque, $15 million. If Grace had a price tag, Palubé de Loque wore it proudly. In 2013, Qatar's royal family dropped $15 million to bring this chestnut show jumper into their Olympic dreams. At the time, it was the highest amount ever paid for a jumper, and it wasn't just hype. With Swiss rider Janika Sprunger in the saddle, Palubé dazzled in Grand Prix circuits, known for near telepathic responsiveness and explosive jumps. After the sale, he joined the Qatari national team and continued to turn arenas into theaters of action. Take a moment to hold on to that gold standard energy, because we're diving into a record deal that ended in disappointment. Number 16, the Green Monkey, $16 million. Speed was in his blood, but not on the track. The Green Monkey stunned the world when he sold for $16 million in 2006, setting a record for a 2-year-old at auction. With a lineage that screamed greatness, sired by forestry and descended from Northern Dancer, everyone expected fireworks. However, what they got was a sparkler. He ran 3 races, never won, and earned a whopping $1,440. Yet, even in failure, he carved a place in history as the most expensive reminder that promise doesn't always equal performance. Think that was painful? The next one came with a name like a war machine, but results that were a whimper. Number 15, Annihilator, $19 million. With a name like Annihilator, people expected total domination on the track. So when he sold for a staggering $19 million in 2010, expectations couldn't have been higher. Bred from elite bloodlines and built like a muscle machine, he had the looks, the gait, and the hype. But when it came time to run, silence. No record-breaking wins. No champion foals. Just a spectacular price tag and a pile of unmet expectations. Today, Annihilator lives on in auction legend, not for the trophies he won, but for how loudly he echoed the risk of betting on promise over proof. But don't lose hope, because up next is a black stallion who made dressage feel like watching poetry. Number 14. Totilas, $21 million. Crowds didn't just watch Totilas, they held their breath. In 2010, this black stallion sold for $21 million, a sum that shocked even the dressage world. His movement was smooth like music, his scores kept breaking records, and there was just something about him that pulled everyone in. Nicknamed Toto, he turned the once understated sport into a sold-out spectacle. Later, as his offspring dominated arenas across Europe, Totilas was revalued closer to $27 million, proof that his legacy didn't end in the ring. Born in 2000 and trained under Dutch and then German riders, his story blended brilliance and controversy. And when you're born from greatness, the expectations are sky high. Just ask the son who followed. Number 13, Moorland's Totilas Jr., $22 million. Being the son of Totilas came with pressure and a price tag. In 2014, Moorland's Totilas Jr. was sold for $22 million, all because the world expected him to dance just like his father. With that bloodline, people hoped and invested in it. He had the same elegant frame, that same sharp mind, and whispers of greatness every time he entered the arena. While still carving out his path, he had already made breeders and dressage fans lean in. But talent isn't always inherited. Sometimes it's the look, the style, and the silent power that stuns a buyer cold. Number 12, Sophie Dancer, $23 million. They say beauty can't be bought, but someone paid $23 million to prove otherwise. Sophie Dancer, an Arabian stallion with a coat like polished mahogany and a stride that turned heads, wasn't just stunning. He was unforgettable. Sold in 2012 to a private Middle Eastern buyer, this show ring sensation racked up global titles before he even hit his peak. What made him worth the price? It wasn't just his wins. It was the way he moved, posed, and carried himself like royalty. And as a sire, he passed on that same magic. Then there's raw dominance. No glitter, just muscle, medals, and a jaw-dropping price tag to match. Number 11, Palet Dehong, $25 million. Some horses win. Palet Dehong dominated. This Belgian show jumper soared onto the global stage and into the hands of a wealthy collector for a jaw-dropping $25 million back in 2013. Known for never blinking at a 6-foot fence, Palet made the impossible look routine. His power came with precision, his mind stayed ice-cold under pressure, and his consistency in elite competitions made him a favorite among Olympic riders. Unlike many pricey prospects, Palet didn't just promise greatness, he delivered it round after round. Owning him was like securing a guaranteed podium finish. Our next legend didn't need podiums. His bloodline alone was worth millions. Number 10, Imperidor, $25 million. Some horses earn their price in the ring. Imperidor earned his in blood. Sold in 2014 for $25 million, this Arabian stallion wasn't famous for big wins, but for something even rarer, his lineage. With features that looked carved from stone and a presence that turned heads, Imperidor came from a bloodline nearly lost to time. He was purchased by a Gulf collector who knew exactly what he was getting, a living blueprint of the perfect Arabian. And through his offspring, that legacy didn't just survive, it multiplied, one prized foal at a time. Still, nothing shakes an arena like a fiery underdog, who defies the odds with every leap. Number 9, Hickstead, $27 million. You don't earn a $27 million price tag by playing it safe. Hickstead was the kind of horse that made your heart race before he even left the gate. Small for a show jumper, but all fire and fight, he proved every doubter wrong, again and again. With rider Eric Lamaze, he took Olympic gold in 2008, thrilling fans with gutsy rides and impossible clears. But Hickstead wasn't just a medal machine, he was a crowd favorite, a horse with a heart so big it could be felt from the stands. His sudden death in 2011 hit the world hard, but his legend still jumps higher than most ever could. And while that story tugged at the hearts of horse lovers around the world, the next one carried a nation to Olympic gold and into history. Number 8. Big Star, $28 million. Some horses jump high. Big Star jumped into history. With Nick Skelton guiding him, he soared to Olympic gold not once, but twice. Most memorably in Rio 2016, just months before Skelton retired. The world watched a bond built on grit, trust, and years of quiet work pay off in glory. He was later sold for $28 million, but his true value lay in the magic he created in the ring. Big Star wasn't flashy, he was focused, powerful, and honest. Now retired, he's busy passing on that same fire to a new generation, one foal at a time. Some win with grit, others with grace. This next icon, he danced his way into the record books. Number 7. Fuego 12, $30 million. Fuego 12 didn't just ride dressage, he danced. The Spanish stallion turned arena silence into thunderous applause at the 2010 World Equestrian Games. His freestyle routine was a viral sensation. Riders cried, judges smiled, and crowds stood. He made classical dressage feel like art again. Sold for a jaw-dropping $30 million, Fuego was soul in motion. He was bred in Spain, trained to perfection, and admired worldwide. Even in retirement, his legacy lives on through his offspring, each one carrying a bit of that fire that made Fuego unforgettable. From art in motion to pure racing perfection, brace yourself for a stallion that never knew defeat. Number 6. Frankel, $30 million plus. They say perfection doesn't exist, but there was Frankel. Undefeated in all 14 career starts, this British thunderbolt tore through the turf like a storm, leaving champions gasping in his wake. Trained by the late Sir Henry Cecil, Frankel was fast and flawless. After retirement, his worth soared past $30 million. But his real gold mine is in the breeding shed. With a stud fee of $349,250 USD, he sired elite racehorses who've gone on to win classics and rack up millions. Frankel didn't just dominate one era, he's shaping the next. And in the world of racing, that's as rare as it gets. But what if we traded the racetrack for turf mallets? Our next horse redefined polo royalty. Number 5. Maradona, $35 million. There are many horses that play polo, but Maradona owned the field. Blisteringly fast, razor-sharp, and cool under pressure, this Argentine polo pony was a game-changer. Rumored to have been sold for $35 million, Maradona became a living legend in a sport where horses make the player. Trained in Argentina and later ridden by top-tier professionals, he brought precision and fire to every match. What made him priceless wasn't just talent, it was instinct. He read the game like a human, moved like a shadow, and delivered like a star. In polo circles, they still whisper his name with awe. Yet even that kind of fire couldn't match the fortune dropped on this next Irish-bred legend. Number 4. Shareef Dancer, $40 million. Shareef Dancer was royalty the moment he stepped on the turf. In 1983, this Irish-bred thoroughbred was sold for a jaw-dropping $40 million to Dubai's Sheikh Maktoum. That price wasn't for a trophy, but for a golden bloodline. Trained by Sir Michael Stout, Shareef Dancer dazzled early with a win in the Group 1 Irish Derby, but his real value came later. At stud, he sired top-tier winners like Possessive Dancer and Rock Hopper, quietly shaping racing from behind the scenes. He may not have become a household name, but in breeding barns, his legacy still echoes. And if $40 million seems wild, buckle up. The next beast conquered the Triple Crown without a single loss. Number 3. Justify, $60 million. Only 12 horses have ever won the Triple Crown. Justify did it undefeated. No losses, no doubts, just pure dominance. In 2018, this chestnut rocket blasted through the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Belmont like he was born to rewrite history. His reward was a $60 million deal to stand at stud. Coolmore America snatched him up, banking on the brilliance of Scat Daddy's best son. What makes Justify special is how he first made his record. He skipped racing as a 2-year-old, then came out at 3 and dominated the sport. Now retired in Kentucky, he's already producing foals expected to follow in his winning footsteps. But before Justify, another legend shook the world with a jaw-dropping Derby win and an even bigger stud deal. Number 2, Fusaichi Pegasus, $70 million. They called him the $70 million horse. And not just for show. Fusaichi Pegasus had looks, speed, and the kind of presence that made jaws drop at the track. In 2000, after winning the Kentucky Derby, he was sold to Coolmore Stud for a mind-blowing price tag. Bred in Kentucky and trained by Neil Drysdale, he racked up nearly $2 million in earnings before heading to a life of luxury as a stallion. His offspring had mixed results, but none ever matched his mystique. Fusaichi wasn't just a racehorse, he was a headline, a legend, and a business empire on 4 legs. And finally, we've reached the crown jewel, the sire who built an empire, one legendary foal at a time. Number 1, Galileo, $198 million. Galileo rewrote the rules of bloodstock power. Born in 1998 and trained by Aidan O'Brien, he stormed through the 2001 Derby and Irish Derby like it was scripted. But the track was only his opening act. Galileo made his mark as a sire. Valued at $198 million, he produced over 90 Group 1 winners, including Frankel, Minding, and Australia. His offspring read like a racing hall of fame. For years, every top buyer wanted a piece of his DNA. In the world of thoroughbreds, Galileo didn't follow bloodlines. He became one. And that's our ride through the 25 most expensive horses in history, each with a price tag and story you won't forget. But we're not done yet. Stay here for our next video to discover the most expensive horse breeds in the world. Trust me, it's just as wild.